The sharks are some of the most fascinating and fearsome creatures on the planet. They are apex marine predators that are perfectly shaped for their environment. They've maintained the same general body plan and ecological role for literally hundreds of millions of years. Their three most characteristic features, in order of increasing intensity, are their body shape with its iconic predatory silhouette that strikes a deeply rooted evolutionary fear into the smaller creatures that see it. Their black eyes, which are like dark orbs of death that stare with an empty hunger at the doomed prey between its jaws. And most intense are the jaws themselves, these massive arcing gateways of bone lined with row upon row of razor-sharp teeth that get replenished at a rapid rate. And yet, despite this terrifying morphology and this fearsome reputation as the bloodletters of the ocean, sharks are actually very shy and timid. They avoid risk-taking, and in a general sense, it's very true that they are more afraid of you than you are of them. Now, I won't say they're gentle creatures, as they're overwhelmingly carnivorous, but they're not the bloodthirsty monsters they're often portrayed as. In fact, sharks are critically valuable components of the marine ecosystem, as they're among the most abundant and diverse group of predators in the ocean. They provide their value by regulating the size of their prey populations, keeping their numbers from overwhelming the ecosystem. It is in this spirit that I want to approach the subject of the 10 largest sharks. Not to portray them as violent, unthinking, flesh-hungry monsters, but as the realistically potentially dangerous, but intelligent and noble creatures that they are. So with that said, let's get started. Let's examine the 10 largest sharks. Number 10. The common Thresher shark, Elopias vulpinus, also known as the Big Eye Thresher. The common thresher is the largest of the 3 species of thresher shark. It can live anywhere from 15 to an estimated 50 years, and it can grow to be up to 6.1 meters long and weigh more than 500 kilograms. Now this may sound like a lot, and compared to humans it definitely is, but the threshers actually have a relatively low weight to body length ratio. This is because they have relatively short, torpedo-shaped bodies, and 1/3 to 1/2 of their body length is in their tail fin. This tail fin, or caudal fin, is massive in the thresher sharks. It extends back at a sharp angle, allowing them to make powerful strikes that stun their prey, and huge sweeping motions that propel them through the water at high speed. They're powerful swimmers, having evolved the musculature to endure long periods of repetitive contraction. This helps them with their seasonal migrations, as the thresher will travel thousands of kilometers every year following warmer waters around 16 to 21 degrees Celsius. Wherever they are, they tend to stay in the upper half-kilometer of the ocean, prowling the dark continental shelf to the slightly better-lit areas nearer the shore, closer to the surface. To hunt and feed, they actually don't use their speed so much, but instead use disorientation and stunning slaps with their tail. They mostly eat bony fish, such as mackerel, herring, and needlefish. And to hunt this prey, several threshers will group up and work together to round up a school of fish, swimming circles around them and splashing the water with their tail. The confined fish can then be easily struck with the whip-like tail and stunned or killed. The thresher then picks up their paralyzed prey and chews them to a pulp with their relatively small teeth. Number 9. The great hammerhead shark, Sphaima mokarin, is the largest species of hammerhead shark, with the largest individuals growing up to 6.1 meters long and weighing up to 580 kilograms. They typically live 20 to 30 years, but they have an estimated lifespan of more than 50 years. The most characteristic feature of this solitary nomadic predator, aside from its sharply vertically oriented dorsal fin, is its highly distinctive T-shaped or hammer-shaped head. The great hammerhead hunts crustaceans, cephalopods, bony fish, stingrays, and smaller sharks, including other great hammerhead sharks. Hammerheads seem to be particularly fond of stingrays, which they hunt using their electrosensory organ. This is to say, they hunt their prey by sensing the electromagnetic fields created by the chemical activity in their muscles. When they pounce on the stingrays, the hammerhead will bite chunks out of both lateral fins and cripple the stingray. The stingray's stinger doesn't seem to affect the hammerhead shark at all. They seem to be completely immune to it. Interestingly, the great hammerhead exhibits a behavior called rolled swimming, where they spend about 90% of their swim time on their side, and they roll back and forth from side to side. This is an evolved swimming method that reduces drag by about 10% and makes them more efficient. They tend to swim in shallow water, hugging near to the coast at depths rarely exceeding 80 meters. They particularly enjoy coral reefs, islands, lagoons, and other sunlit places where prey are made abundant thanks to algae and marine plants. This has also put them in close proximity to humans, who also enjoy the beaches, but despite their vicious reputation, hammerheads are much like other sharks in the sense that they're pretty shy and they tend to avoid, ignore, or rarely, curiously check out humans. Oddly, this reputation seems to exist among the sharks themselves, because in reef habitats, other sharks tend to give hammerheads lots of space. Although the hammerheads probably deserve a fearsome reputation among the many smaller reef-dwelling sharks, as they're quite often the prey of the great hammerhead. Number 8. The Bluntnose Sixkill shark, Hexanchus griseus, also called the cow shark. Adult males can grow up to 5.5 to 6.1 meters or 18 to 20 feet long, although on average they're about 2/3 of this length. They have large, bulky bodies and long tails. A 3-meter-long Bluntnose Sixkill caught in Turkey was measured and weighed around 900 kilograms. So larger Sixkills, like the ones around the 5 to 6 meter range, could weigh twice as much or more. The Bluntnose Sixkill shark populates the upper kilometer of seawater, where they prowl along the ocean floor of the continental shelf, where it's dim, murky, and quiet. In some cases, like in the search for food, they can dive down as far as 2.5 kilometers, or about 8,200 feet. And as the Bluntnose Sixkill is a generalist predator, their prey is diverse and includes a wide variety of fish, as well as crustaceans, squid, aquatic mammals like seals, and of course, smaller sharks. Although they're bulky and sluggish, their powerful tail muscle can propel them at high speed after their prey. The Bluntnose Sixkill shark is particularly interesting because their morphology, including their broad pectoral fins, their one caudal proximal dorsal fin, and their 6 gills, are all relics of a more ancient era in shark evolution. Among their genus, Hexanchus, most of their relatives existed sometime in the Triassic period, 201 to 252 million years ago, and most of them have gone extinct. The Bluntnose Sixkill survives and is carried along the Hexanchus legacy, bringing its Triassic anatomy into the modern day. Number 7. The Megamouth Shark, Megachasma pelagios. Now the Megamouth Shark is a really weird, enigmatic creature. It has a large head with a large mouth, hence its name. The jaws are equipped with a large, broad pair of gums, upon which are mounted many rows of small teeth. The Megamouth Shark is an awkward, slow, ungainly swimmer with a short, stubby body. Adult Megamouth sharks can grow 5 to 6 meters in length, with a tremendous mass of around 600 to 750 kilograms, with some specimens weighing more than 1,200 kilograms. Despite their huge mouth, they're filter feeders, and they capture plankton and other food particles with their gills. The Megamouth sharks live in tropical equatorial regions, including both the coastlines and the broad expanses of open ocean. Here, they swim in slowly ascending and descending arcs within the upper 150 to 200 meters of the water column, where they trawl for plankton. Genetic studies have found that there's remarkably little genetic diversity among the Megamouth sharks, which suggests that there's a single, interbreeding megapopulation, with migrations along the warm equatorial waters of the world. Although this is just a suggested possibility, it's not actually known for sure what their population dynamics are. In fact, not much at all is known about the Megamouth shark. They were first discovered in 1976, and since then, less than 100 individuals have been either caught or observed. They are an enigma, a strange, lumpy, awkward, big-headed, big-gummed, filter-feeding, poor-swimming, weirdo enigma. It's rather interesting that the Megamouth sharks are the smallest of all the planktivore sharks. This is to say that among the 3 species of shark that filter feed on plankton, the Megamouth is actually the smallest. Naturally, this means that we'll be coming to the other 2 larger filter-feeding sharks later on in this list. Number 6. The Greenland Shark, Somniosus microcephalus, also known as the gray shark, or as the Inuit peoples from Greenland would call it, the Kaluswak. These large sharks can grow up to 6.4 meters long and weigh over 1,000 kilograms. The largest specimens ever found suggest a maximum possible length of 7.3 meters and an estimated possible mass of 1,400 kilograms, although the average individual tends to be shorter, less than 5 meters long and around 400 kilograms. They have a thick, bulky body with a short, round snout, small eyes, small fins, and small gills. They roam the upper 1.5 kilometers of the water column, preferring shallower water in the northern region, but going deeper in the southern region where the water is cooler. Despite being a large and powerful carnivore that dominates the seas surrounding Greenland, the Greenland shark doesn't appear to actually hunt its prey. Instead, they appear to be scavengers, attracted by the scent of dead flesh in the water. They've been known to eat all manner of bony fish, as well as eels, other sharks, and mammals like seals, moose and reindeer, and even polar bears. These larger terrestrial animals, these tetrapods, often enter the water where they're at risk of drowning, getting stuck, or injured by an orca or something. And eventually their corpse will become food for the scavenging Greenland shark. The Greenland shark is actually really remarkable for several reasons. For one, they live in extremely cold waters, with a temperature just above 0. They've even evolved adaptations to improve their buoyancy and deep water pressure resiliency. Their flesh is rich in a chemical called trimethylamine oxide, which is toxic, and so it can only be eaten after the flesh has been boiled multiple times to destroy the trimethylamine oxide. For a creature of their body size, they have an extremely slow metabolism. They swim slowly, and they have the longest lifespan of all sharks. The oldest known Greenland shark specimens have been alive for 4, possibly even 5 centuries. In other words, their lifespan is an order of magnitude longer than every other shark we've talked about so far. Number 5. The Pacific sleeper shark, Somniosus pacificus. The Pacific sleeper shark is, as the name might suggest, a quiet, motionless hunter that uses stealth and surprise to catch its prey. The average specimen is relatively small, around 4 to 4.5 meters long, although the largest observed individuals can grow beyond 7 meters. The heaviest individual sleeper shark that's been weighed was 888 kilograms, but it was only 4.4 meters long. A specimen that's 7 meters long could reasonably be expected to be over 1,200 kilograms. Much like the Greenland shark, the Pacific sleeper shark lives in the cold northern oceans, although where the Greenland shark inhabits the area between Canada, Greenland, and Iceland, the Pacific sleeper shark lives in the northern reaches of the Pacific Ocean, between Alaska and Siberia. They often prowl at great depths, as deep as 2 kilometers, where food is often sparse. This has led to multiple evolutionary adaptations, including a larger stomach that can store food for a long time, to supply nutrients for long periods where food may otherwise be hard to find. They also have chemical adaptations to their liver oil that prevents it from solidifying in the cold temperatures, and they have chemical adaptations in their tissues that improve their buoyancy. When it comes to feeding, their prey is often consumed in a single bite. Otherwise, it's ground up and ripped apart by the chewing motions of their many small, spike-like teeth. Their diet is diverse and includes all manner of crustaceans, bony fish, marine gastropods, seals, and perhaps their most favorite food, which consistently takes up a dominant proportion of the biomass found in their stomachs, are cephalopods, like giant squid and Pacific octopus. Number 4. The tiger shark, Galiocerdo cuvier. A large, powerful, and solitary hunter, the tiger shark can grow to be longer than 5 meters and weigh more than 900 kilograms. They're very dense, beefy sharks. The largest confirmed tiger shark was a pregnant female that was 5.5 meters long but weighed over 1,520 kilograms. They're shorter than most of the other sharks on the list so far, like the Thresher and the great Hammerhead, but the tiger shark weighs about the same, if not a little more, because of its raw bulk. The tiger shark has long, broad fins, which help provide a little bit more lift to compensate for its mass. They propel themselves through the water with small, subtle movements, operating slowly and quietly until they stealthily come upon their prey. They can see and smell really well, so prey can't hide even in dim, murky water. The tiger shark generally swims in the uppermost kilometer of the water column, preferring the warmer water near the coasts of tropical and subtropical areas. In these regions of warmer water, the tiger shark will prowl for bony fish, which makes up the bulk of its diet, but they'll also eat jellyfish, crustaceans, bivalves that they scrape off the seafloor or off of rocks, as well as sea snakes and cephalopods. The tiger sharks enjoy larger prey as well, occasionally hunting and eating seals, dugongs, sea lions, dolphins, and even sea turtles. They actually seem to have a particular fondness for turtle, as it shows up in the stomach of about 1 in every 5 tiger sharks. The exceptionally sharp, serrated teeth and powerful jaws of the tiger shark are more than capable of slicing through and destroying the tough bony shell of a sea turtle with ease. If the bony shell isn't an obstacle, it should be no problem for the tiger shark to rip through the soft skin of a dolphin, a small young whale, or even other sharks. The tiger shark is an aggressive, generalist predator, eating almost anything it wants that happens to come too close. And around the Hawaiian Islands, they've even been known to eat animals that swim out to sea, including dogs, cats, and even goats and horses. Number 3. The great white shark, Carcharodon carcharias. As I've gone through this list, you might have noticed that most of these sharks are really similar in size. Sharks 10 through 4 have all been around 5 to 6, maybe 7 meters long, and they all average around 400 to 600 kilograms, with the largest specimens coming in around twice that, at around 1,000 to 1,200 kilograms, or maybe a little bit more. Well, now that we've come to the great white shark at number 3, this trend is coming to an end. The great white shark is truly massive. The larger individuals are also 6 to 7 meters long, which is similar to other sharks. But the great white is incredibly bulky and powerful. It's loaded with muscles, and it weighs anywhere from 1,900 to 2,300 kilograms, if not more. There's also unconfirmed reports of great white sharks that exceed 10 or even 11 meters in length, although these claims are generally considered dubious. Additionally, the great white has a range that exceeds most other sharks. Where many species prefer coastal areas or tropical waters, the great white shark hunts almost everywhere across the oceans. Just about the only places that the great white can't tolerate are the particularly frigid waters in the Arctic Ocean and those surrounding Antarctica. The great white shark's avoidance of the Arctic Ocean may be due in part to the presence of killer whales. These killer whales, or orcas, are the only natural predator of the great white shark. These large aquatic mammals are known to swim up to a great white and, using their nose, flip it over. If the great white is flipped upside down, it becomes paralyzed. And if it's paralyzed and flipped upside down, the orcas can easily feed on its exposed, soft underbelly. In this regard, the orcas are the true apex predators of the ocean, but their range is quite limited. Everywhere outside the Arctic Ocean, the great white shark dominates. The great white has a wide and varied diet, including bony fish, cartilaginous fish like rays and other sharks, sea turtles, and all manner of marine mammals, including cetaceans like whales and dolphins, and pinnipeds like seals and sea lions. They're also responsible for the majority of shark bites on humans, although humans are not their preferred prey. The great white is the poster child for the shark misconception. Because they're so big and fearsome looking, so massive and powerful and scary, and because of movies like Jaws that portray them as unthinking killing machines, the great white shark has gotten a very bad reputation. Even the guy who created Jaws regrets how he portrayed them, because he learned that they're actually beautiful and curious creatures, and not the one-dimensional monsters that so vividly captured the public's imagination. Number 2. The basking shark, Ceterinus maximus, is the second largest shark species alive today. The basking shark can grow to a colossal length of over 12 meters and weigh over 16,000 kilograms. The basking shark has a characteristically enormous mouth, which can open up to be more than a meter wide. The basking shark's mouth is so large they could technically consume an adult human in a single bite, except they aren't that kind of predator. The great white is the kind of shark that would actively hunt around and attack large prey animals and rip them up for food. But the basking shark is so much more relaxed. They're much more chill. They don't swim particularly quickly. They aren't in a big rush or anything because they just filter feed. The basking shark will open its enormous mouth and then just lurch forward. As it moves ponderously through the water, it'll catch zooplankton and small fish on gill-mounted filters, which it then licks clean and eats. The basking shark is a really curious creature. It's generally calm and placid, almost friendly as far as sharks are concerned, and it moves through its temperate continental shelf habitat at a relatively slow and leisurely pace, casually accumulating a thick paste of filtered zooplankton for lunch. As they aren't active hunters, they don't have large teeth, and they don't even exhibit particularly aggressive behaviors. As they're so large, they don't have many natural predators, so they don't really have to think that much about evasion or combat. Because of this relatively relaxed lifestyle, with lots of low-intensity stimuli and comparatively few threats, the basking shark doesn't have much to think about, and so it has the smallest brain per unit body mass of any shark species. Number 1. The whale shark, Ranchodon typus. The world's largest shark, hands down, without a doubt, no argument whatsoever, is the whale shark. As its name suggests, it's similar to a whale in size. The largest confirmed individual measured over 18, almost 19 meters long, which is more than 60 feet. The whale shark's open mouth can be more than 1.5 meters wide, which is considerably larger than the mouth of the basking shark. They are absolutely gigantic creatures, with a typical adult mass around 11,000 kilograms, but the larger specimens have been calculated to weigh anywhere from 34,000 to over 40,000 kilograms. The whale shark lives in a broad equatorial band, enjoying the warmth of tropical and subtropical water. They prefer the upper layers of the open sea, but can dive down to a depth of around 2 kilometers. In this fertile marine habitat, the whale shark roams around and filter feeds, consuming multiple dozens of kilograms of plankton per day. They're actually so large that their filter feeding includes not just plankton, but also small fish, small crabs, small squid, and other small aquatic life forms that might be a bit larger than zooplankton. I think it's really interesting how the 2 largest shark species, and also the Megamouth Shark with its mega-sized mouth, are all filter feeders, sustaining their massive bulk on the smallest creatures in the ocean. The whale shark is not dangerous to humans at all, and it can be described as calm and even docile. They're very curious creatures, and they'll sometimes swim near humans just to smell them and feel their vibrations and see what they're all about. Although shark conservationists and other marine biologists would generally encourage you to not swim with or on the whale sharks, as you could hurt them or disturb them. Before we end the video, I wanted to mention a bonus shark species. Megalodon, arguably the largest shark to ever live. The Megalodon roamed the world's oceans from the Middle to Late Cenozoic, emerging around 23 million years ago and dying out only 3.6 million years ago. So how can I describe Megalodon? It was certainly not a filter feeder. This monstrous animal is a real-world manifestation of some kind of eldritch nightmare, with hundreds of razor-sharp 7-inch-long teeth shaped for tearing apart the bodies of its prey. Calculations of Megalodon's body size vary considerably. Its average body size is estimated to be 7 to 10 meters long, which is about the same, if not a little smaller, than your average whale shark. The largest estimates, on the other hand, describe a creature of extreme proportion, with a maximum body size estimated to reach from 15 to over 20 meters long, weighing 40 to 50 to even 60,000 kilograms or more. Scientists aren't sure why exactly Megalodon evolved to be the massive size that it was. Some hypotheses suggest that colder ocean water encouraged a larger body size to conserve heat, while others suggest that an abundance of large prey animals encouraged an evolutionary arms race for larger body size. In this sense, the Megalodon is kind of like the shark version of the king of the dinosaurs, which are also thought to have gained their massive size from ecological competition with their prey. In conclusion, sharks are incredible animals. Not only are they terrifying and beautiful, they're smart and curious and so much more complex than they're portrayed in the media. Some of them are legitimately dangerous, like tiger sharks and great white sharks. But others are almost gentle, like the whale shark and the basking shark. These amazing creatures are an integral component to the world's marine ecosystems, as they've remained fundamentally unchanged in their role as top predator since the age of the dinosaurs. Today, sharks are threatened by overfishing and pollution. As the largest sharks are the most likely to get caught, the average size of almost all shark species has been decreasing. We need to reevaluate how we perceive the shark. They are not monsters to be culled. They are indescribably valuable creations of evolution, and destroying them would perhaps be like removing the keystone from the world's marine ecosystems.